All right. Hey, Shalom Bakim. And we'd like to give our honor and glory to Yahweh, Hashem, Yahushua, Bashur, Hakadash. The honors to our apostles, great millstone, we well. Peace and blessing to the house of the elect. All right, we are the GMS Mississippi Camp. All right, today we're going into a live stream entitled "The Trough Damsel Will Cry Out," man. All right, you got it, brother.
Just going to this lesson about the betrothed damsel. You go into the word betrothed, it goes into like engage. So, as the hopefully elect of the nation of Israel, us, so-called Negroes, Latinos, Hispanics, Native Americans, the ones that our people look like the other nations would be considered as Israelite foreigners, the ones that seeking Yahweh Bashim Yahushua these last days, we're like the betrothed damsel to Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, But, you got 2/3 of our people that's not considered as Israelites on this side. They're following after the fashion of this world. You follow after the fashion of this world that leads to the wages of sin, which is death. So they're not betrothed right now to Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. Only the hopeful elect, which is called like the Israel of the Most High, All right, that's all.
Like in Psalms 147:19, he showed his words to Jacob, his statutes and his judgment unto Israel. Verse 20, he had not dealt so with any nation. As for his judgment, they have not known them. Crazy, how about Shema Shah?
And the law, statutes, commandments was given to the Israelites. Then you think about it, like another spiritual aspect, it wasn't given to all these other nations. So we have that binding agreement or that covenant with the Heavenly Father Yahweh through His Son Yahweh Shai. So let's get Jeremiah 6:2.
Jeremiah chapter 6 verse 2. I have likened the daughter of Zion to a comely and delicate woman.
So we are likened to like a woman to the Heavenly Father Yahweh. So more so, you read in the book Ezekiel 16 chapter how the Most High, He was calling us like a beautiful woman. How He decked us out with the ornaments, with the different earrings, the jewels, the chains, things of that sort. Meaning that He put His laws upon us. And that made us separate and holy amongst these other nations, That would separate us in high regards of these other nations. That's the blessings of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. But due to the process of time, we went out the falling way first. You read Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, 15 verses on down. That's when those curses or reproaches came upon us. And, we lost that beauty to Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. Because, the Most High stated also in that book, Ezekiel 16 chapter, He likened to the daughter of Zion like an imperious, whorish woman. You go to the word imperious, it goes into like an arrogant woman because we start following after all these other nations, their philosophies. So we said pretty much like the Heavenly Father, Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. So fast forward to nowadays, you have a remnant, which is considered as the hopeful elect, drawing back to Yahweh Bashim Yahushua.
And the precept, just to further prove that the woman is symbolic for the nation of Israel. This is Revelation 12:1. And there appeared a great wonder in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun and the moon. The sun is a representation of knowledge, and moon is a representation of wisdom. That's right. Yep. Under her feet and upon her head a crown of 12 stars. So that woman is a representation for the nation of Israel.
Cool. All right. This is this book of Jeremiah. All right, this is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 3, verse 14. Turn, O backsliding children, said the Lord, Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, for I am married unto you, and I will take you one of a city and two of a family, and I will bring you unto Zion.
And so Yahweh Bashim Yahushua is married to our nation. He's joined to our nation. All right, and at this time frame, how is He joined to our nation? Beginning with the elect, and He's joined to us via the Holy Spirit. All right, would I ask something else?
I got a clue. Right here. It's Amos 3, and I'm starting 1 to go to 2. Hear this word that the Most High has spoken against you, O children of Israel, against the whole family which I brought up from the land of Egypt, saying, you only have I known of all these families of the earth, therefore I will punish you for all your iniquity.
And you can look at known as an intimate relationship. Or go ahead, you can look at known as an intimate relationship that the Most High had with our nation only. Because prior to that, what made us holy? What made us consecrated? All right, what made us separate was the law, statutes, and the commandments. So we are the woman of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. But like the brother said, at this time frame, it's beginning with the elect.
Romans 11:7. Romans 11:7. What then? Israel have not obtained that which he seeketh for, but the election have obtained it, and the rest were blinded.
Yep. So the election of the nation of Israel, we the one as a hopeful elect, we obtaining this knowledge through the spirit of power. Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. You know, you go into how Yahushua was talking to his disciples, he breathed upon them, going to the Holy Spirit, you know, that breath of life. So as the hopeful elect, you know, we have that holy breath of life that we can see who our enemies are now according to the Spirit. But we know exactly why we're in this predicament. We know the future judgment of America, you know, known as Babylon the Great. And we know what's going to behold these international bankers that has us in this captivity, along with these other nations as well, you know. So, you know, read it again, brother.
Romans 11:7. What then? Israel have not obtained that which he seeketh for, but the election have obtained it, and the rest are blinded.
Yeah, so like the rest of our people are blinded. As it says that if our gospel be hid, it's hid to them that are lost. So 2/3 of the nation of Israel, they are blinded right now. Yahweh Bashim Yahushua is not really considered them. They look at as like really the side pieces, you know, on this side. You know?
Well, like it says, how a virtuous, we'll say a harlot envies a virtuous woman. You know, so the 2/3 of our people, they're really like little harlots out in the streets. But we're the ones that's been espoused like virgins. You know.
This is 2 Corinthians 11:2. For I am jealous over you with godly jealousy, for I have espoused you to one husband, that I may present you as a chaste virgin to Yahushua.
Yeah, let's talk about spiritual. And that's why, beginning with the 144,000, it said they were virgins, meaning they did not let another philosophy penetrate them, you know. And ultimately, they're not going to let Esau penetrate them with his poison, you know, and the MOTB. You see, that's why I said he that had the mark. Then what did it say? And the name of the beast. Because when you take on the husband, what do? You take on his name, you know. So that goes into, all right, those virgins, man. And a lot of our people, they're wondering, you know, after, you know, the beast, man. It's going to lead to them being linked up to him. Because a man shall leave, you know, his mother and father and get a wife and become what? One flesh. Right. So Esau trying to get into what? Your flesh, man. Yeah. You see? He wants to change your whole mRNA, man. You know? Because even when I think you did a lesson on dealing with how, you know, how the semen, you know, semen really affects the DNA of a woman. It's like he be bugged out because she got all these different, you know, semen having a war in her, man. You know? And since you brought it up, let's get that law, because it link up perfectly with the law and Deuteronomy, man.
I got that right now.
Oh, you got it to be
Yep. This is the one y'all want. Deuteronomy 22 and 22. Those 24.
It's only 25.
Okay. Bro, I think it's 24, bro. Wait, 20. Cool. All right. Deuteronomy 22 and 22. 23. If a damsel that is a virgin be betrothed unto a husband, and a man find her in the city and lie with her, then ye shall bring them both out of the gate of that city, and ye shall stone them with stones that they die. The damsel because she cried not, being in the city, and the man because he have humbled his neighbor's wife.
Yeah, see, 2/3 of our people. Yeah, it's gonna be the next one. Yep, it's gonna be the next. But 2/3 of our people, they're not crying out. Because if a woman doesn't cry out, that means that she's consenting, you know, to the man. You know, she's a part, all right, of their crime. You know,
like we said, like she's spiritually, with 2/3 of our people spiritually getting wicked by Esau's philosophy. You know what I'm saying? You know, they liking that touch.
Yep.
You know, as it says, speaking to us smooth things, right?
But it goes
to us disease.
But it goes right into that Deuteronomy. Was that Exodus have a man entice a maid?
Yeah.
If he entice her, you know, because that's what Esau's doing. He's enticing our people.
That's right. Now I got a precept with the crying out. This is James 5:4. Behold, the hire of the laborers who have reaped down your fields, which is of you kept back by fraud, crieth.
Mm-hmm.
And the cries of them which shall reap are entered into the ears of the Lord of Sabaoth. Okay. This is back in James 5:4. Behold, the hire of the laborers who have reaped down your fields, which is of you kept back by fraud because of this system, cry, and the cries of them, referring to the elect, that woman, all right, which have reaped are entered into the ears of the Lord of Sabaoth.
It's Psalm 94:16. Who will rise up against me, against the evildoers? Who will stand up? Who will stand up for me against the work of iniquity?
Yep, and that's what you see, the remnant doing, beginning with the house of David. All right, those men, they're crying out against this place, man. And we're definitely crying out as this man is getting ready to make his move. Because this man, he's coming. See, Esau in the spirit now. When you go, to the EU, which is a part of this beast system, Esau pretty much has a spirit of get down and lay down, man. Like you can't go to bars and restaurants in Russia and France if you don't have, the jab, man. And then Russia is talking about, making it a criminal offense if you're not vaccinated, man. You see, and then not only that, but if you promote people not to take it, that should be a criminal offense, man. So we get to the point where this man is going to try to force himself, upon the Lord's woman, man.
Knowing that the hopeful less patrol too.
Yeah, so we crying out. We constantly saying the name of our husbands. Because in the ancient world, a man will probably, in the case that it happened, a man will run up on a woman and, but she would have to holler out, no, I'm betrothed to such and such, son of such, son of such and such, And that's what we're doing, man. We're saying, no, we're betrothed to Yahweh Shema Shai,
Right. And this is Psalm 19:2. Day unto day of your speech, and night unto night short knowledge. Now, this is a reflection of the internet. All right, so, but what is going on? The prophets are crying out on the internet. That woman, there is no speech nor language where their voice is not heard.
All right. Luke 18:7. All right. And shall not the Most High avenge his own elect, which cry day and night unto him?
How are we crying? Making these videos, going out there on the highways and the byways and publishing these videos on the internet. This is a form of crying out as well. Also praying too.
Yeah.
Go ahead, bro.
Though he bear along with them.
Right, because the Most High is long suffering for what? Prophecy's sake. All prophecies has to be executed on earth prior to the arrival of Yahushua, and within those prophecies, the elect has to be sealed. Go ahead, bro.
All right. Verse 8. I tell you that he will avenge them speedily. Nevertheless, when
He's going to avenge his woman.
Yep.
All right, his woman, the Most High will avenge her. Okay.
Isn't that what they call it? Damsel in distress?
That's right.
Even all those Superman movies, the villain is after the woman. She screams, then Superman comes to save her.
And who's Superman? Yahweh.
That's right, man.
And Khalil.
That's right. All power. Go ahead.
All right. Luke 18:8. I tell you that he will avenge them speedily. Nevertheless, when the Son of Man cometh, shall he find faith on earth?
And that's what it's all about. Your faith is going to keep you glued to Yahweh Shem Shai as you're crying out for the Most High to send his Son so we can be rescued.
Right. Hey, this Exodus 3:7. And the Lord said, I have surely seen the affliction of my people which are in Egypt, and have heard their cry by reason of their taskmasters. For I know their sorrows. Verse 9. Now therefore, behold, the cry of the children of Israel is come unto me. And I have also seen the oppression wherewith the Egyptians oppressed them.
Man, and then we in spiritual Egypt now. Because we know America gonna be the worst. When this thing, when that draconian law come to America, it's gonna be the worst, man. Hey, because another thing I was listening to, they talked about how this woman was saying how censorship is the beginning phase of a dictatorship. When they start censoring, the public from speaking out, that's the beginning of a dictatorship, man. It's about to get very crucial in America, man. And the elect gonna constantly cry because we're already vexed now, man.
I'm gonna say this too, when you read that, I thought about Planet of the Apes. The last one came out. They had us. It's the same. It's a movie.
Concentration camps.
Had them in the concentration. They were working the hell out them apes. They working the shit out of us. It's the same concept. Same thing. Working the shit out of us. They're working. They got tired of working. Yeah, I know we got tired of working. It's the same concept. As you read there, that just picture my head on Planet X right there.
The spirit, because the director of that movie, he said that he got the storyline from Moses and the Israelites, you know. Yeah, because that's why Caesar, the main character, that's why he died at the end. He didn't make it to the promised land.
I got a quick one. And this is 2 Ezra 15:8. I will hold my tongue no more as touching their wickedness, which they profanely commit. Neither will I suffer them in those things in which they wickedly exercise themselves. Behold, the innocent and righteous blood cry to me. Now these are the prophets that are in the spirit world, as well as the saints in the spirit world, crying out to Yahweh on how Esau is ruining this earth and destroying his people on earth in the spirit world. All right, behold, the innocent and righteous blood cry to me, and the souls of the just complain continually. Verse 9, and therefore saith the Lord, I will surely avenge them and receive unto me all the innocent blood from among them.
And I had a scripture to build on 2/3 by people. All right, Sirach 26 and 11. Watch over an impotent eye, and marvel not as he trespass against thee. And that's the 2/3 of our people trespassing against the laws of Yahweh Shema Shai when we got there teaching, right? Because we telling them what it is. Verse 12, she will open her mouth as a thirsty traveler, accepting all the philosophies or the wines of Esau Edom. All right? And it says, as a thirsty traveler when he had found the fountain, and drink of every water near her, by every hedge will she sit down and open her quiver against every arrow.
And those philosophies penetrate.
Yeah, and then ultimately opening up her quiver against every arrow and dab.
Yeah.
You know?
That jab is like a two sword.
Yeah.
You know? Hey, that's right.
That's right.
Because like really, Esau, he's trying to put his law into our inward parts.
Yep,
You know what I'm saying?
Yep, spiritually.
Spiritually with the jab, you know, the MOTB pretty soon.
Like a brother in the camp used to say, you know, when you got him on the mind, you chip him. Like, oh, he chipped him. So really, it's like, well, I hope I didn't say that word, but that's what Esau, that's the token that he put his software program in you. Right. That's his token, like you maneuver in this world off my philosophy. Right.
And that vibration of Esau is upon 2/3 of our people.
Yeah, because like if you get a woman, right, guess what? When y'all connect to each other, she gonna have your mannerisms. Right. If you laugh a certain way, she might laugh. Your little lingo, she gonna use that lingo. Right. All right, you put your laws in the every part. Your vibration.
Your spirit. Exactly. Yeah, that's how 2/3 of our people are following, you know, partaking to the image of the beast, man. You know, that's how they're getting into it, because majority of our people in that mindset of partaking to the image of the beast, almost the same type of people is gonna go ahead and get the MOTB. That's the mark, you know.
And you can tell because the majority of our it's ironic that it's women, but the majority of our women, they get it without thinking about it. Right. But if you look at their philosophies, Esau's way is their religion. Yeah. Career, westernization, dating, and feminism. Yeah, mainly feminism.
That's why Apostle Paul stated in 1 Corinthians the 7th chapter that the woman is of the world. Yeah. She is the world.
She is an extension of.
She's an extension of the world.
It's what's for such as a took the side out the save.
That's right.
You know.
And then if I can add, like you say, because you look at what the scripture says, the ruler sold the people, and what you're seeing, Esau he put his influence, you know, on the people so much. Even you Israelites, man, because what America known as the melting pot, right? So what would be a unity camp known as a melting pot? Yep. You got the same mindset as an Edomite. The hell with what you believe, but let's just get together anyway. Yep. That's a mind frame of the beast. That's a part of the beast, man.
And that's harlotry. Because what is adultery? The word adultery means to pollute. Yeah. Because when you adulterate something, you pollute it. So we have all these conflicting philosophies yet we're together. Yeah. Then the product is polluted.
Yeah, that's right. It's like a spiritual orgy, really.
Yep.
A spiritual Tower of Babel.
Yeah. That's right.
Hey, Ecclesiasticus 13:16. All flesh consort according to kind, and a man will cleave to his life.
A man will cleave to his life, man. All right, here it is. You know, we have a mind frame to flee this place. You know, but you got Jake here trying to plan the next Passover for next year. You know, trying to find a venue. Okay, brothers and sisters, y'all be on the lookout for a good venue. You know, and here it is. We delving into the prophecy, watching this nigga Esau trying to see what he up to. Is he and Jake looking for a venue? No, man. Why would we get together with we on two different stratospheres, man?
It's already hard enough in your own household.
Yeah.
Because you focus on this place ending, but the people in your household, like your wife, she not focused, she not thinking about this place ending. So it's already hard enough in your own household, not alone joining the Israelite camp that don't want this thing to go down. Right. You know?
Right. Yeah, they're talking about, according to health experts, that in the United States, the FDA could approve it by as soon as January, if not sooner.
Yep.
All right, so you supposed to be departing from this world, from a spiritual process, like through the spirit of Yahweh Shemashah, as soon as you got into the truth.
Yep.
All right, looking forward to the next Passover and Christmas and all that other man, bro. This shit is over. We are literally in the entry phases of Jacob's troubles, right? And then that's gonna activate what? That hour of temptation, which is what? The MOB.
It probably can be a big, it probably gonna be, some big controversy when these schools start. That's another leverage he can use for the outbreak.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a separation between the kids that's vaccinated and the kids that's not vaccinated. When the kids get into it, the parents gonna come into it, and everybody's scrapped.
And they're already saying for the kids to go back to school that they want their mask, all right, and then random tests to check their status if they're not or if they got it, all right. And only this woman, the woman of Yahweh Shemashah, the Israel of Yahweh Shemashah, only we are crying out, beginning with the apostles. All right?
Trying to rape us.
Yeah, this man is literally trying to rape us.
Because it starts out with seduction, but the elect not giving it up.
That's right.
So as soon as that mandate is rape.
Right.
When it's that's force.
Yep.
So we already saying no, we do the Trump, But now he finna start. You know how the Edomites start that conqueror mindset. Don't start getting aggressive.
Trying to take it.
And
that's how he's gonna wait his tongue. Those draconian laws, those measures. Sometimes.
Yeah. I did business Psalm 5:1. Then should the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such have afflicted him and made no count of his labors.
It represents the hopeful elect. You read Isaiah 62:6. How the Most High said, "A watchman should not keep their peace day nor night." That's what we're doing through the Spirit. We crying out. We sign and crying as it says for all the abominations done in the midst of them. Because we know this right here is not our continuing city. So right now, as hopefully as time moving on, as you can see, biblical prophecies moving, and we're looking forward to that day, man. We want these things to happen. Because the sooner it happens, the faster Yahushua comes back, man.
And it's gonna move fast.
Yeah, because July, no.
Yeah.
They like, they were just popping firecrackers. And now it's what, 22nd, 21st?
Yes.
You see, this thing is speeding up. Because you gotta understand, how about Shema Shai is wrapping this thing up, man. You think we're fed up. How about Shema Shai is fed up with the wicked ruling the earth, man, and destroying the creation, man.
Like we were saying, like how majority of our people, they like this fashion of the world, so they stuck here mentally, man. So those the same mindsets of those people. Yahushua comes back. They don't want Yahushua rule over them. They don't want that standard, So they're gonna have to die on this side and be brought back of the loins of the elect in this kingdom to come.
Deuteronomy 22:23. If a damsel that is a virgin be betrothed unto a husband, and a man find her in the city and lie with her, then ye shall bring them both out of the gate of that city, and you shall stone them with stones that they die. The damsel because she cried not, being in the city, and the man because he have humbled.
He's not crying out. Yohana's not crying out. All these so-called Israelite camps, excluding Great Millstone, we're the only camp, beginning with the apostles through the Spirit of Yahweh Shemashah, is crying out, saying that man touched me. Right? That man lifted up my skirt. I tried to break away from him, but I screamed. These other niggas ain't screaming, man. Go ahead, Elder.
Because he have humbled his neighbor's wife, so thou shalt put away evil from among you.
Right, and that's why majority of these camps, will be destroyed. All right, because they got in bed, they had sex with Esau, and they didn't even cry out.
Right.
They liked it.
And these stones this time gonna be missiles.
Exactly.
The Most High gonna stone you with missiles, man. You see?
That's right. And you think about Spartacus, the times when, you know, for sure, I think it was like season 1, when it showed Gannicus, when Bactianus made him knock down Undermayan's wife. You know, she was trying to fight back and crying a little bit. And she started liking it, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, according to the law, both of them be put to death because she was enticing it as well, you know.
Hey, because that's like the, you know, our people saying what they not gonna do, but the pressure ain't came yet. You know, you wait till, you know, you can't go to the grocery store, you know, because you don't have, you know, the max, man. You know.
A prime example, the brother saying out there in France. All right, these people was not with it. Okay, and then when what's the name? President Macron stated that you're gonna lose your civil liberties. So basically, if these people go in to like a cinema and they can't show any proof that they have a passport, or if they see free, then long story short, they face 6 months in jail and $45,000. And then in euros, of course. And also, if that establishment doesn't check for their status, then the establishment is facing, the person running the establishment is facing 1 year in jail. So within 3 days, you had 800,000 people to sign up for the vaccination. Pressure burst pipes. And it's the same shit that's going to happen in America. It's easy to say what you ain't going to do when you can go to the movies, or you can go to the grocery store, in the clubs. You know what I'm saying? You can get your car washed whenever you want to, go out there and get your hair cut. But once that Esau bring that pressure, then people will be subject to receiving a wild lack of pay.
You know, over there overseas, soccer real big. They have thousands of people watch soccer, so they gon', you know how they big in soccer, right? They gonna fold. Like I said, they already folding already. But when that soccer season start back up, you know, Manchester United, Manchester City, all them big names, it be thousands of people. Yeah, and guess what? You know them niggas, they love soccer over there. So guess what? They gonna fold. They gonna take it to go watch the soccer. Same way over here. And then when soon as football start in a couple months, then they gonna fold up to go watch the football games. Right?
Yeah, they pushing division there too.
Yep.
They got 2 national anthems now.
Yeah.
They gonna do the regular and one for Jake. You know?
And this is a scripture, I can't think of it right off the bat, where it's better to have a little as a poor man than partake in the abundance with wickedness, with the wicked some sort of effect. So it's better to live in necessity and in straits and not accept the jab, all right, than to, you know, take the jab, you live like a king, but now you on to a road of death.
Yep. But pretty much to what they doing now, you know, because even in my job, they said, you know, you haven't been vaccinated, you have to go back to the mask mandate, pretty much. And pretty much what that does to someone who has a jab, it makes them feel like a VIP citizen. You know, like they can skip the line at the club, man. You know, so that's a Esau. He still that. If you don't look at this man as that subtile serpent, more subtile than any beast, you know, than any nation, this man's enticing the hell out of people, man.
And this man is creating different variants for those that done had the C19 or the Crown 19. Basically, because what you once you have that illness, your body develops antibodies, right? So that's the reason why he's creating these different variants, because basically he's trying to kill you all. And down through that fear, you're more subject to go down there to your NBA clinics and to receive the vaccination. You know, but all this has been already established years ago. They was going to create an illness and make it mandated for a vaccination, and that's it, part of the new world order. I got a precept, Revelation 14:4. These are they which were not defiled with women, for they are virgins.
Simply put, you know, we've never, the token of us not taking the jab, that's symbolic of us detaching from Babylon. Right? You know, because even when you walk into certain clubs, they snap your hand, you know, or they put a band around your wrist, man. That's right. So we're basically outside the club, like, nah, we ain't going in. Going back to that VIP thing. we still wearing a mask, like fuck it.
We parking lot people.
Yup. You know?
You got people in the club or the VIP section, they laughing.
Yeah. Yup.
That's how you gonna see that separation of the people that's vaccinated against the people that's not vaccinated when these times come.
Yeah. Going back to that movie Surrogate, I think those movie Surrogate, you had a certain group of people that wasn't a part of that new age living, but they were basically living in the underworld. So they were living. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Demolition Man too, also. Too.
Right. So
Grid.
they were off the grid, but they were living kind of primal, like kind of rough.
Demolition too.
Yeah. They were living kind of rough because they weren't a part of that the richest of the new age way of living. You know, so we gonna be like you said. We're gonna be like pilgrims.
Prepare to be outcasts, man.
Hey, yo, like the video. And these are they which follow the Lamb whithersoever he goeth. These were redeemed from among men, being the first fruits unto the Most High, unto the Lamb.
Being redeemed, then being first fruits unto the Most High, unto the Lamb. You know, because a woman is what? A possession, you know, of a man. You see, we're someone's possession. All right. And we're gonna be the hopeful elect are gonna be the ones that do not fold. We finna see a lot of people fold, man. As it gets harder and harder and harder, a lot of people finna fold. Because first off, they don't know how crazy and how far Esau gonna take, you know. And then they don't have nothing. They're not built on your house shot. If you're not built on your house shot, man, you're gonna be through in these times, man. And that's the only thing we building on. That's why I say we can't come together with someone that's not building on your house shot, man. That's the only solid foundation that's gonna make it in these times, man. You know.
Try foundation.
Exactly.
They try.
They try cornerstone. This is Ezekiel 9:4. And the Lord said to him, "Go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and that cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof."
This is what the angels are doing. You see, the angels are putting that spiritual mark, that the Y, all right, which is what an exemption from judgment. You know. And why would be exempt? Because we cried out. Matter of fact, did you finish that Deuteronomy? 25, yeah, because it's gonna go into that. Because it's gonna go to why the damsel was exempt. You know?
All right, Deuteronomy 22 and 25. But if a man find a damsel in the field and the man force her and allow her,
he forced. And Esau was trying to do what? He's trying to force himself, you know, upon the Lord's woman. See, the Most High ain't worried about, you know, these other scalawags out here, you know, these other nations, 2/3 of our people. No, but when you start trying to force it upon, you know, his woman, that remnant, you see, then it's going to be a problem. Right?
Can I bring a quick one out? Just an example of force, Revelation 13 and 16. And he calls all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their forehead.
Yes, to receive a mark in their hand and their forehead, you know, that's the ultimate, you know, penetration, man, which is that MOTB. You got it, bro.
all right, Deuteronomy 22 and 5. But if a man find a betrothed damsel in the field and the man force her and lie with her, then the man only that lay with her shall die.
Go ahead.
But unto the damsel thou shalt do nothing. There is in the damsel no sin worthy of death. For as when a man rises against his neighbor and slayeth him, even so is his matter. For he found her in the field, and the betrothed damsel cried.
And she cried, so she was exempt from judgment. Going back to Ezekiel 9 and 4. Read it again.
For he, oh, you Ezekiel?
Yeah, Ezekiel. Yeah.
Okay, Ezekiel 9 and 4. And the Lord said to him, "Go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and that cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof."
Go ahead.
And it says, "And to the others he said in my hearing."
And to the others that did cry out. So basically, it's just a prophecy of the life. You know, spiritually, man. Go ahead.
And what it says, Isaiah 58, what? Cry loud, spare not.
Yep.
You know? So that's what we're doing through the Spirit. It says, "And to the others he said in my hearing, go ye after him through the city and smite, that not your eye spare, neither have ye pity.
Yep, go ahead.
Slay utterly old and young, both maids and little children and women, but come not near any man upon whom is the mark, and begin at my sanctuary."
Yeah, because we're exempt through the Spirit. Why? Because we're crying out, man. You know, we're crying against this place. You know, we're crying for your house shot to come back. Every time you vex in the Spirit, even when you're not saying anything, your spirit is always groaning, man. You know, asking you how shall win, asking the Heavenly Father when. So the elect is constantly crying out, continue, man, even when we don't utter it, man. You know, just being here, man. You see, around these people. So the elect are going to be exempt, really, pretty much, according to the law. You know?
Right? Think about 2/3 of our people, they already penetrated, so they like spiritually got that token short of blood. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, see what we did?
Oh yeah, I took a virginity.
I took a virginity.
Because that jab, it draw a little blood, but that trip, the chip, you know, the MOB, it draw blood too.
Exactly.
You know, the blood, because what they show you with the MOB, just like the what it is calling the tokens of virginity.
Yeah.
It'll be on the cloth.
Yeah.
So what they hit you with that chip, then they do what? They wipe that little blood off. You know, it's really the tokens of your virginity, right?
Because it's the same thing. It's a token.
Yep.
It's proof that this is mine. Because the token of her virginity is proof that it's a virgin. I took her virginity. That's the proof, the token.
Right.
But the mark of the mark is a token.
That's it.
It's a token of the beast.
The place where you receive is the bed chamber.
Yup.
It's in our law, but Leviticus 19, I don't make no cuttings in your flesh. That's right, you know. So if like 2/3 of our people, they're gonna easily follow because they already accepting the image of the beast, man. They already getting enticed by these vaccine lotteries.
It's like go ahead. If you're around a woman, right? And you know, if she you walk in the room, she already looking at you up and down. Then you talk, she laughing at your jokes. You know, you buying her a drink, she drinking your drinks. You already got her mentally. Then the combination of that is just the sex. So that's how our people are already enticed by the American way. College, career, feminism, you know, do as thou wilt. So they were already laughing at Esau's jokes. They was already taking his drinks when it was stimulus checks. They was buying them drinks, they were kicking back. You know, so the combination of that was like, all right, now you gonna give up the pants, right?
Hey, you even had Jake when the first stimulus check came around. You know, Jake said Trump ain't that bad at all. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They was getting enticed, man.
Yeah.
So like you said about the bed chambers, when Jake saying that he's making that woman more enticed by him buying her drinks and stuff like that, you know, flattering her, we said, I'm about to go home. That's what he saw about this.
He tried to move.
I'm getting those jets.
Okay.
That's it.
So top. As Isaiah 31, woe to the rebellious children, said the Most High, that take counsel, but not in me, and that cover with the cover, not of my spirit, that they may add sin to sin.
Yep. So they're not putting the cover of how about Shalom Shah playing them. They're putting the cover of Esau even. You know, feel the fashion of this world. We already know that the fashion of this world is going to fade away very soon, man.
They got enticed by his dainty meats.
Exactly. So if the fashion in this world is going to fade away, how much more the inhabitants that's seduced by the fashion in this world?
That's right.
Verse 2, that walk to go down in Egypt and have not answered at my mouth to strengthen themselves with the strength of Pharaoh.
And you walk into Egypt, also your mannerism of life by accepting this Esau's way of living, accepting this system. All right, accepting this system is how you walk down into Egypt. Egypt is what? Spiritually modern day America.
And it's the duality of it. Galatians 6 and 16. And as many as walk according to this rule, peace be on them and mercy and upon the Israel of the Most High.
See, the Israel of the Most High took that covering of Yahweh Shalom Shah. These are the virgins that follow the Lamb wheresoever he goeth. These are the virgins that's crying out day and night. All right?
So that's the duality of walking.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's right. That's right.
And to trust in the shadow of Egypt. Verse 3.
And how do you show your trust? By basically looking at the news, seeing these numbers go up, going to your nearest MEA club, and receiving you know what. And if you get that, you might as well go and get the MOB.
Verse 3. Therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh be your shame.
That's right.
To trust in Pharaoh,
That's right.
to trusting in his power structure. That's gonna be your shame.
That's right.
You know, because like you got what's called the slut walk. Like the fraternity stuff, like after a woman had sex and she got to walk down that hall and everybody looking at her. Hall of shame. After he let her hit, you let him hit now. They got the hall of shame.
Daniel 12 and 2. And many of them that sleep in the dust of the earth shall awake, some to everlasting life and some to shame and everlasting contempt.
Yeah. That's in the kingdom of heaven. So 2/3 of our people are going to be shamed for us on time frame. All right. Why? Because basically they did everything Yahweh Shemashah told them not to.
And our women are like a microcosm of our people, because our women, they're seduced not only by the wickedness of Esau, but even the men they get with is not an upright man.
That's right.
So, but our people don't want an upright ruler.
That's right.
They're seduced by the rulership of a wicked man.
Yeah.
You know.
And also, the woman is considered as what, the weaker vessel.
She's the weaker vessel.
Yeah.
So
So she's easily to be manipulated through her mind.
That's the spirit. I was just looking up this quote before I came here. It's by Virgil. He said, "A fickle and changeful thing is a woman ever."
That's right. Because she's emotional. She's very emotional. I'm sorry. So basically, her emotion control her thoughts. Her thoughts don't control her emotion, and that's why she feels like this 5 minutes from now. She feels like that 10 minutes from now. Because everything is based on her emotion.
She don't go by no logic, no critical thinking. You know what I'm saying? Everything based off impulse.
I feel no bigger picture.
No bigger picture, no accountability.
No accountability, especially now.
This is Matthew 24. This is Matthew 25:1. It said, "Then shall the kingdom of heaven be likened unto 10 virgins, which took their lamps and went forth to meet the bridegroom. And the 5 of them were wise, and the 5 were foolish. They that were foolish took their lamps and took no oil with them. But the wise took oil in their vessels with their lamps. While the bridegroom tarried, they all slumbered and slept. And at midnight,"
Why did the bridegroom tarry? Went back to the spirit world. And what's the oil? The oil is his truth. All right? The oil is his truth. Go ahead, bro.
and you see Jake, leaking oil all over YouTube, man. You see, Jake is walking around with a lamp with no oil, man.
That's right.
That's
right.
Because
Wipe your phone off.
Yeah. But see, when it get lights out, all right, and the chaos, and you ain't got no, because it's cool, you still a lamp. Like if you got a lamp in the daytime, it's no big deal.
Yeah, you got lights.
Yeah.
Right.
But when it's lights out and you ain't been saving no oil, then that's when it's gonna come into effect, man.
that's why the scripture says wisdom and knowledge should be the stability of our times.
Yeah.
That's right.
The scripture talk about these precepts are what? A lamp to my feet. You see? And it says, and at midnight, see, the darkest hour.
That's right.
Because we come into the darkest hour that the earth has ever seen, man.
At midnight, you can equate that to Hosea 6:2.
Yep.
Because 2 days he will revive
Yep.
us, and the 3rd day will raise up with him.
Yep.
We're in the midnight at this time frame. This is the midnight.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, bro.
It says, and at midnight there was a cry made, behold, the bridegroom cometh, go ye out to meet him.
What comes before? So when the midnight is exercised, what happens? It's a new day.
Mm-hmm.
Daybreak, the dawning, which means what? Light.
Well, how should I say? He's gonna cry like a travailing woman.
Mm-hmm. And it says, then all those virgins arose and trimmed their lamps. And the foolish said unto the wise,
When you're trimming your lamp, you're preparing it, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? That's why basically when you burn a candle, you're supposed to cut the wick. All right, you cut the wick about maybe 6 inches. So once that wick is cut, now that candle is the light from that wick is burning brighter and larger and bigger. But when you don't cut that wick, when you don't trim that lamp like that, and when you light that candle, what happens? It gets cloudy. Why? Because you're not maintenance that wick, man. And that's what we have to do in the spirit, man. By examining ourselves, by fasting, listening to counsel, and praying, man.
And that's real off the topic, real quick. We have to listen to counsel. That's what I say there.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 8, it says, and the foolish said unto the wise, give us your oil, for our lamps are gone out. But the wise answered, saying, not so, lest there be not enough for us and you, but go you out.
That's what Philippians 2:12. Working out your own salvation.
Amen. We're supposed to get together.
Separation.
Amen. I thought we were supposed to get together, man.
I've never seen a tiger with the lion. I've never seen a hyena with the gazelle. A wolf with the lamb. I've never seen your house shout with the Satan. Okay? So it's the same thing on earth. We consort to our kind, man, based on the doctrine.
And it says, but go ye rather to them that sell and buy for yourselves. And while they came, it says, and while they went to buy, the bridegroom came, and they that were ready went in with him to the marriage, and the door was shut.
And that's that woman that was crying. Exactly. Like she was ready. She stayed 10 toes down until her husband came back.
Yeah, we're getting prepared.
Mm-hmm.
You see, Jake is out here naked. You see, and then it said they went into the chamber and goes in what those chariots.
That's right.
And shut some doors. Yeah, the bed chamber.
Now you're joined to your house shop, man.
Yep.
And that's why I say like a harlot envy the virtuous woman.
Yeah.
Because the end result is they got delivered.
That's right.
You know, they good.
Yep.
You know?
And what the script what they say in the streets, you know, like a woman that has been taken out of the street and put into a structure, like she got saved.
She got saved,
you know.
That's right.
Yeah. And that links up with the brother Tasman read earlier about they should be made to the straightness of the salvation. That's not really, you know, not only just talking about these other nations, like 2/3 of our people. So
That's right, bro.
you know,
Yep.
you know, you gotta break it down through the spirit, you know.
Yep.
Hey, one more Isaiah 36, verse 6. Lo,
Beautiful.
okay. It said, lo, thou trustest in the staff of this broken reed on Egypt, whereon if a man lean, it will go into his hand
That's the chill.
and pierce it. So is Pharaoh, king of Egypt, to all that trust in him.
Right. Modern day Pharaoh is Joe Biden. You know, and then it talks about
Because it says, lo, thou trustest in the staff of this broken reed on Egypt, whereon if a man lean, it will
how
go.
do you lean? Basically, your belief system. Going into Revelation 13 and 15, talks about you're gonna have 2/3 of our people, along with other inhabitants, these heathens, how they're gonna bow down and worship the image. You know, basically, that's how you lean on something with your mindset.
Walking down to Egypt.
That's what yes,
Esau selling dreams.
that's it. And Jake buying them all up.
Now, you don't question something like, okay, why he's giving us free donuts and we take it back?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Free
why,
college
yeah,
tuition.
free college tuition,
Lottery.
the lottery, you know.
And it's spirit too, because Jake could catch it, and then they'll be against it. But once they catch it, they say, well, you know what? I'm gonna go and get vaccinated.
Yeah, because I had a woman tell me a few years ago, she was like, ain't nothing free. Like if you meet a woman, you give her stuff, and her mouth was like, ain't nothing free.
Exactly.
Like ain't stupid. So why don't our people look at like that? Like well, why he giving us all this? So what do he want from me?
Yeah, Esau playing R. Kelly, don't you say no tonight.
No,
Yeah, bro.
Took you shopping.
How many drinks does it take to leave with me?
Yeah, exactly, bro.
It's the answer. It said, lo, thou trustest in the staff of this broken reed on Egypt, whereon if a man lean, it will go into his hand.
Right, if something is broken, it has no stability. This system has no stability. Meaning what? Because why? Yahweh Hashem Mashah is going to destroy it.
It will go into his hand and pierce it. So is Pharaoh, king of Egypt, to all that trust in him.
And that's what happens when you trust in the king of Egypt.
All right, so with that, you know, we hope you brothers and sisters were edified. I know I was. And once again, we want to give all honor and glory to Yahweh, Hashem, Yahushua, Hashem, Hakadash, that will understand our apostles, great millstone, rule well. Peace and blessed house stay with the elect. Abba, 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 Abba,